Was that supposed to make that noise? Whatever. Welcome,
It doesn't.
everyone.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Promised Neverland podcast, also known as the greatest Info Gear podcast ever, where I am joined, as always, by the wise and wonderful Sea Tactics.
Yes, you may have wondering why that first screenshot was from Kaguya-sama. I don't know how that got
Why?
there. I don't know how that got there. I noticed it like 5 seconds before we went live, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care.
Okay, we're gonna go with it.
It's there. It's there.
I mean, when I did this, the images a few weeks ago with Anime Uprise, I think his name was, I had inserted a fake lead thing in there just because I thought it'd be funny.
Of course.
Or was it fake lead? I don't know. Was I still watching? Or maybe it was Beatless, whatever I was watching then.
Maybe it was, maybe it was the greatest anime of all time, King's Game.
I thought that was Hyoka.
Same difference. It's
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like, same studio and everything, same
Right.
amount of talent.
And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that.
I think C is saying go subscribe to PewDiePie.
You know what? Do that as well. It's for
Exactly.
a good cause. So, episode 9 of The Promised Neverland, it's titled 031145, otherwise known as
November 3rd?
031145.
But just not worry about that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Norman's date is set, and so he makes his escape. But
Norma has a date?
He
Is he
does.
probably going out with Emma?
It's probably with Emma. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Right, I'll ship it. I'm okay with that pairing.
The way they looked at each other this episode suggested they like each other. But what Norman finds out is outside the wall, there is a cliff.
Yes, a giant cliff. Hence why I hate cliffhangers.
Yes, mind the gap, as they say.
As those modern kids say, not us old people.
I think mind the gap is like a Call of Duty thing.
Yeah, but only kids play Call of Duty.
Hey man, I used to play Call of Duty.
Yes, and that's why we're friends.
I played Black Ops 4 and I didn't like it after a while.
Oh, we have the chat thing on the screen too. That's cool.
Yes, we did that last week.
Yeah, I saw things and I was like, huh, why is there a thing over that image? And I thought, oh wait, that's Kagami saying things. So hi, Kagami.
Hi Kagami, you're my favorite waifu.
Yeah, he's everyone's favorite waifu.
So, I guess we gotta talk about it. Emma's leg. You thought I was gonna say the cliff. Ha! Gotcha!
Yeah, Emma's leg first because that happened like last episode.
Yes, it's the most. It's probably the thing we actually do need to address first, because that's probably want to build up to the cliff thing.
Yeah.
But so her leg is like, it's a clean break and it'll heal in 2 months.
Yeah, and like her mother made sure it would be clean so it would not cause permanent damage.
Right.
Which is crazy in and of itself.
I think she messed up here by telling the kids this. And the kids take note of this. I think it's Emma's plan where she's like, hey, we don't want to be damaged or whatever, or they won't take us, or they'll push back the date. So why don't we break our fracking arms?
Oh, yeah, like that scene was crazy and awesome and weird, and I liked it.
It was, yeah. Are they going to do that, considering what Norman found in the box? I don't know, because we still don't know what he found. We know he looked in it. We just don't know what was it.
Yeah, and that was like its very end. So, well, there's something else I want to talk about near the beginning of the episode that I thought was really cool. And I don't know if I sent you this screenshot or not, but they were like trying to figure out what to do after they came back with Emma and her broken leg. And Ray was saying, the escape will happen, so we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And just like that was like, this is the logic of a shonen protagonist. I like anime.
It's funny though. I think this maybe is a shonen. Is it?
It's in Shonen Jump.
So it's.
Yeah, it is. It feels like a shonen, but it's like not like a normal one, not the My Hero Academia type.
Right.
It's like the Attack on Titan type.
Emma is the closest thing to a shonen protagonist in this anime, in my opinion.
In any anime.
She is pretty shonen protag. I was just thinking about it though. This episode actually, there's something familiar looking. There's the Kaguya-sama screenshot again. God damn it! It's the worst one to have in there too.
What? Okay, so you have that screenshot in a show about lollies.
So there's something like that just looked familiar through this whole show, and I thought originally it was because it's like it kind of looks like a 60s or 70s anime a little bit, like a Legend of Galactic Heroes or a space battleship Yamato or whatever it's called.
Okay.
I thought about it. Emma kind of looks like Gon from Hunter x Hunter.
I can see that.
She kind of does. And there's a little bit of Hunter x Hunter-y kind of inspiration with the art. It's probably not intentional. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just you can relate to them both, and something about the design. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I've only seen like 2 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. Actually, 3 if you count the one where I watched their own series.
Kagami says shonen is a demographic, which is true.
Yes. Yes, he's right because he's always right because he's Kagami.
This is true. I agree with this. Kagami is the best.
Yep. Oh, Ray's voiced by Killua. That's interesting.
Killua.
Is that the white-haired one or the other one?
Killua is yeah. It's the little boy.
Okay.
That isn't Gon.
Yeah, I should watch Hunter x Hunter at some point.
Hunter x Hunter is really good. Sorry.
I've heard that.
I'm sorry. Hunter Cross Hunter.
Good name for it.
That's gonna make some people angry.
Exactly. That's why we get all the views. We make people angry.
This show is just not really good anymore. Have you ever thought about that?
No, it's not that good, you're right. But it is still better than Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I agree. And I mean, of course, it's better than both of them. King's Game.
Season 2.
Season 2, of course. Season 1 still is. It's easily better than Legend of the Galactic Heroes. but it's not as bad as something like The Promised Neverland.
Yeah, but the only thing that would make King's Game better.
King's Game Season 3?
No, if it was made by Kyoto Animation.
You're right. But fire everyone at Kyoto Animation and hire the people who made King's Game and just change their studio name to KyoAni.
Yeah, just have them move in there because I hear like KyoAni has like ping pong tables in the lobby.
Let's just cut off Naoko Yamada's hands.
Exactly, she doesn't need them.
Not at all. She's not using them for anything important.
And that way, if she doesn't have hands, then she won't be taken by the demons as they're doing Promised Neverland because she'll be too damaged.
Right. And really, Naoko Yamada was overrated to begin with. A silent voice, come on, that ain't good.
Exactly, it's the best KyoAni movie ever.
Exactly, and also the worst one, because they've never really made anything worth note.
This reminds me completely off topic, but back up to on topic.
We've been off topic the whole time. Oh my god, we're just kidding. We're kidding.
So I thought of something though. I did think of something as we were talking about breaking Naoko Yamada's hands. So what if the kids hurt themselves in a way that cannot be easily healed? Like the Emma's broken leg will heal and be fine in a couple months. But what if they're like permanently damaged?
I think they would still. My thought process is this. So you know how like, oh man, I don't really want to talk about cow slaughters, but like there's like the whole mad cow disease thing.
Oh yeah, because they eat like other cow brains or something.
I think they probably just kill them, or they make them mothers, or something like that.
Yeah, so I guess that probably makes the most sense. Is like if they won't get better, they have no purpose. So they probably just like kill them, maybe not eat them, but they say, "Oh, lost cause. We don't care about you anymore."
Mm-hmm. I also like in this anime we talked about it in a couple episodes before, but Emma and Norman's relationship, it's
oh yeah,
it's vaguely originally is very vaguely like there could be a thing between these two, but now it's like it's pretty definitive in my opinion. These two really like each other. I think Norman said he liked Emma pretty early on. right?
Yeah, I don't remember. It hasn't been the focus, but I could definitely see them developing the romance over time.
Right. And I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like it's just a little thing. It makes sense. It's 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 the wiener. It's wiener. God damn it, Kaguya.
Wait, what did Kagami do?
No, not Kagami, Kaguya.
Oh, okay, Kaguya.
And the goddamn screenshot appeared again.
Is it Kagami's fault there's a wiener on screen? So it's even weirder than I thought it would sound.
Oh my god. But yes, I like this relationship between the two. I hope it progresses more. I hope I'm not reading too much into it though.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Naruto, how they had the relationship with him and Hinata build up over time. And I hope it's the build up over time is slow and they don't like add a lot of romantic drama to it.
Kagami, I'm sorry. Kagami says, "Wait, y'all skipped the Norman X Emma marriage episode."
No, that was part of Mob Psycho, not Promised Neverland.
Oh my god, my cat wants out. Take over the ship.
Okay, so now that C is here, we will switch the topics and talk about Fate Khalid, which I must say is one of the greatest animes that I have ever seen. It has all the fun that you would expect of a comedy about lollies. A touch of fan service, not too much, or maybe way too much, depending on how you view it. And yeah, I know how you view it. And it also had some of the greatest battles the anime has had, where they start off with a butler bringing out a machine gun. So let's get C Tactic's thoughts on the battle now that he has returned.
Yo,
yeah, by the way, I just talked about the Fate Khalid for the last 30 seconds.
Well, here's the thing about the battle. You can't have a battle without a gay bulge. You know what I'm saying? And I know people get confused when I say that. Gay bulge? What the hell are you talking about, gay bulge? And honestly, let's be real here, guys.
But what if you have a butler pull out a machine gun instead?
You can't. Okay, first of all, you gotta have the gay bulge. Gotta get a gay bulge in there, and I'm not talking about the spear or the lance. That's not what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about Lancer's package.
But Lancer's a lolly in this show.
Get out of here. That ain't true. You're lying to me.
Actually, no, I think a rider was one who's in that battle. Oh, and the lolly archer, of course.
I disagree with this statement.
I don't think we're even on the same topic, but that's okay.
It doesn't matter. Get the gay bulge in there, man.
Yeah, I know that's how. Now's the right time for the wiener thing to show up again.
It probably will.
But you know how that fits in this Promised Neverland? This off-topic was rather sudden, and another thing that was sudden that the characters reflected on was the death of Crone last episode.
Right, they did. They were very, very surprised at how Crone was just dispatched.
Yeah, and it's like we as the viewer were completely surprised by it too, unless you read the manga. But if you count,
right, if you don't read the manga, you're probably like, wow, that happened.
Yeah, that'd actually be really interesting if they like switched that to surprise the manga viewers too.
I know
it still made it work.
Satsuki the Savage, great YouTuber. He's a guy. He knows some things. He's kawaii.
Yeah, he is. I've seen pictures.
Definitely have seen pictures and videos. Not going to talk about those though. He said that they've changed some stuff, which makes sense. A lot of anime changed things for adaptation.
I'm actually
make it flow better.
I'm curious how much they changed, so maybe I'll read the manga like after the anime's done.
I imagine it's just things to make the things flow better.
Yeah, I've heard like they cut out some of the explanations and stuff, which I can see as a manga viewer why you'd be, or a manga reader, why you'd be disappointed, but I don't think it's really hurt the anime from my perspective.
Yeah. I assume it's just regular, adaptation-y stuff.
Yeah, like you can't do a perfect adaptation. It's just like two different mediums.
Mm-hmm. And
it'd be like trying to tell all three routes of Fate Stay Night in one 60-episode anime movie.
160-episode anime movie.
Yes, to tell all of Fate, including the Khalid.
Well, so when they're talking about breaking their bones, Ray says, "Let's get cracking."
Yes, that whole scene, like they had the optimistic music playing and they were excited.
About breaking their arms. I love it. It's terrible. I thought, you know what? You know what they could do if they really want to like. I don't know why they would do this, but if they wanted to keep that secret from Mama, where they figure out that because of what she said, they've picked up that if they break a bone or whatever, they won't be sent out.
They break one of her bones.
They break. Yo, Mama, what up? Snap. That really hurt. I'm going to kill you now.
I wonder if they could like get the jump on her, like break her legs so she can't chase them, and it would not trigger the killing thing.
That would probably never happen. Mama would be like, "Yes, it's studio disconnected."
Wait, what?
I don't know. It says you're
We're
still
offline
alive.
now. No, it's.
So yeah. Also, one of the kids, it's not Phil, says when they break the news that Norman's, he's gonna go away forever. One of the kids says "Congrats" with a W instead of an R, and I thought that was cute.
Oh, something else had happened when Norma was announcing that. Phil's asked, "Is this goodbye?" which is something different than all the other kids said. And I know enough about Phil to know that that might mean something. Or I'm just overthinking it. That
also,
works too.
Did you see how Phil looked at Mama and Isabella was taken aback by it? Like, this kid is adorable. I'm thinking what I'm thinking. And
Anime Uprise is here. Hello, welcome, and 88 Expert.
What I think is going to happen is this.
All right.
We've been talking about Phil for a while now, about how he's the man, how he is the real main character, how he is the savior. I think Isabella...
Oops.
I think Phil is going to change Mama. And how I think he's going to do it is very simple. He's just going to be Phil, and Mama's going to be like, this kid? Going to sell him, get some money for it. Ha! It's going to be easy. But Phil is Phil. So eventually, Mama will be like, I can't sell this kid. Wait, have I been wrong all along? Phil, you're the best.
Ooh, fire is relevant. Are they going to set the place on fire? That sounds awesome. They should do it.
They're going to set it on fire with Phil.
Phil
you can't do that.
No, Phil will accidentally set it on fire, not meaning to, except he kind of means to, because he doesn't know that he knows, but that's his plan to like get everyone out.
Maybe Phil just knows everything, and he's this universe's god.
I have another idea. What if the fire is the demon's weakness? Because they take the kids at night, and maybe it's because they don't want the other kids to find it. But what if they're like the light and the fire and all that is a weakness of theirs? Because you remember how like the truck place was really dark?
You're right, but I think it's different.
Okay, you do.
I think it's modify that a little bit.
All right.
What I think here is that their weakness is smoke weed every day. So the kids are going to start blazing up left and right. They're just going to get they're just going to be token, man. They're going to get super blazed 420 weed, man. They're going to overdose on weed.
We should do a podcast on 420.
And they're going to they're going to get called out, right? Isabella's going to be like, "What the hell's going on? Where do they get weed?" And then the alien's going to be like,
"Oh, the aliens get addicted to the drugs too."
Not only do they get addicted to the drugs, but they die from them. They like shrivel up like a grape. And
what does the flower has to do with weed?
And then, guess what? The kids eat the aliens. Because they got munchies! God, I'm a genius!
Yep, C's on drugs. Remember, kids, don't do drugs. You'll end up like C-Tac.
I'm on fire, literally, because I've been blazing this whole time.
This means so much. But you know what else
so
the children...
much to you? Oh, damn it, Kaguya. The goddamn wiener thing.
Every time you say that, I think you say Kagami. I'm like, what did he do this time? He seems cool.
Yeah, so there's a cliff. That's, I guess,
there's
the
something...
last part.
No, there's something else too. Just a couple things I noticed is like when Ray had the thing that would destroy the tracker, it was a candy box that said for children,
Huh.
and I just thought that was a neat touch. Um, there's whatever sister left from Norma. I think it was Norma, or was it Ray? I wrote Norma, but I could be wrong.
Wait. No, the thing that's in the drawer.
Yeah,
That's what Crone left him.
yeah. So did Norma get that, or was it Ray who got it?
Norman, I believe,
Okay,
or maybe it was Ray. God, I don't know anymore.
I wrote down Norma, but I get these characters mixed up sometimes.
It's probably Norman.
Okay, we'll say it's Norma then, because we'll assume I knew what I was talking about.
We'll just say it's Snoop Dogg. Smoke weed over there.
I have ideas, but we'll worry about those later.
So yeah, there's the cliff. Dang. What do you where do you go from there?
It's like when Norma was originally running away, it was like that old storytelling cliche is like if you know the character's plan, it's going to fail. But then everything seemed to be working just fine. So I was like, wait, are they going to go against that rule and have him successfully escape? But it's like they took a third option, they let him get away, but it turned out he came back because there's something else that they didn't know about.
Man, that's so crazy.
I love how the show does that. It always goes with these third options when you like there's a cliffhanger or a big twist about to come. You think the obvious is answer A, so they're going to do the opposite and be answer B, but you predict that, and then they come out of nowhere with an answer C.
That's also just like that's a testament to the writing. The original mangaka like really probably tried very hard to like not make that an obvious choice and tried to lead you in extremely subtle ways to different outcomes that you thought, oh, this definitely is going to happen. But when it didn't is when it just was like, wow.
Yeah, or it's like you think it's too obvious for it to happen in the way that it seems to be, so you are predicting a twist, but the twist is never what you predict.
Right.
Like, it's been like that whole show.
It's brilliant. I mean, it really is.
Right. This is definitely one of my favorite shows I've seen in a while, and I saw a lot of good things recently.
It's a show that you can both... I feel like you can definitely binge this show easily. And it's also one that you also watch weekly, and it's even better because then you have to wait the next week.
Yeah, it's like I would not be watching this weekly if I wasn't doing the podcast, because it's not a show that I want to have to wait every week. But because I do, I kind of get to savor it and feel the tension more week to week.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm excited. I haven't been this way in a long time for an anime, but I'm excited for next week.
Yes, I'm excited every week, and not just because I get to talk about random topics with you. Though that is a good plus.
I think the last time something like this happened to me was with Inuyashiki, which was like at the end of 2017. So.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. It had a good opening.
It did. I wasn't gonna sing it, but it's because your channel could get taken down for that. But imagine we did sing that opening.
Yes, where are you going with those lyrics?
Are you losing your way, or are you just thinking about losing your way?
Oh, fire is important because Mob Season 2, Episode 8. I am watching Mob. I'm not caught up. I know things happen. I don't know what things, though.
I know what he's talking about. Because I watch Mob Weekly for the King of Anime podcast. Anyways, this guy. So now that the cliff, it's been revealed that they're basically fucked.
Yeah.
What do you think their next plan is? The first thing I thought of is they're gonna have to either use the transport vehicle in some way to get
truck.
To get that gate down.
Yeah, so what the one option is that as they are taking the kids away, that's when the gate would be opened. So they use that to like attack and like steal the truck and drive away. But that seems like a terrible idea because the demons would start killing kids.
I can't think of any other way though. Maybe the little white box is the weakness for the demons because didn't Crone get that letter that says or that note that she knows the weakness of Isabella or something like that?
I don't know if it was Crone who gave that. It was Ray who said that he had one more trump card.
I think they're maybe it's gonna have to be by force this time, and I don't think kids can do that. Like I think
kids cannot take Isabella down by force unless they're able to get a jump attack and like a taser or something. And even then, it's Isabella.
Yeah, she's probably just gonna be like, and just kill him right there.
Yeah, and one of the things I think Isabella is doing is letting their keep adding more and more things to crush their hope to make them not want to escape anymore.
Yeah,
Norman getting away. She might not have predicted exactly that, but she kept them from getting over the wall, so they still had some hope that getting over the wall might be a solution. And then she crushed that hope when Race or Norma saw that.
Wait, what if they all make freaking prison shanks? And they just hey, and they very sneakily, just straight up murder the fudge out of Isabella, and then
but if they murder Isabella,
and then that's how they get it down, and then you get the satisfying, terrible, awful, painful death of Isabella, and then you get the gates going down, and then they militarize themselves and pull out AK-47s and run at the aliens, and they're like, die.
So it turns into Fake Lead Season 2, Episode 7.
Yeah.
Though maybe, actually no, Phil will be the one because he has an AK inside his heart.
Exactly. His heart is exactly like an AK-47. Also, I guess in the Symphogear universe, he would be the equivalent to Hibiki, since he has an AK-47 in his heart and Hibiki has a Symphogear in her heart. So that means all Phil has to do is start singing
and hold hands,
and obviously friendship and holding hands.
Yes, exactly. Because this is a shonen anime, so it's the power of the friendship that will win the day, and then get half the kids killed.
Maybe he shouldn't. Maybe he should think about what he does at that point.
Yeah. Also, did you notice that we got a new ending?
We did. I think it's only maybe be a one-time thing because it's near the end of the show's run here.
Yeah, it's a weird time to introduce a new ending, but yeah.
I think it's just a one-off because of the cliffhanger, where they're like, let's just, we can't do the same ending this time. We gotta do something cool, and we're gonna get world-famous band Smash Mouth to do the ending.
Now I'm making A&V with that.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, oh crap, I can't sing it. Schniz.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna tell them about the song. That's gonna be right. Get what I'm going here?
I was gonna say something on topic, but you made me forget what it was.
It doesn't matter.
let me go back to my notes and see what it is.
Could it be about the cliff?
Oh, it's that they discovered that the demons can't do anything to go after them because the kids have to have the illusion of a good life still. Because if they lose that, then they won't be as good at food. So the demon's power is limited here. So maybe they can try using that.
Why don't the kids just be like, "Hey kids, come here, kids." Well, Isabella's in the back smoking crack or whatever she does.
That's why she's so strong.
Hey y'all, you're gonna be eaten. So here's some AK-47s. We got that from Phil. And just start killing everyone. Not us though. Not the kids. Just kill all the adults. And if you see anything that doesn't look human, kill it.
So what if Phil's not a human? What if Phil's actually a demon?
Phil is technically not a human, but that's because he is a spirit. That is most it's like a god, he's just in human form. Hey, have you ever seen that movie called Dogma? He's basically Chris Rock.
I have not seen that movie.
Not a lot of people probably have.
All right, leave a comment if you've seen the movie.
Definitely, because I guarantee you no one's going to leave a comment.
Yes, that's like most of my videos. That's okay.
So, is that all? We haven't talked
Okay.
about this episode of the Promised Neverland podcast.
I just there are a couple cool like directing tricks. Like when when Emma and Norma were talking, you could like hear the clock ticking in the background, and that's just something the show keeps doing.
Also, the tracking shot when Norman comes back from getting that glass of water, that was pretty neat.
Or even when he goes to get the water, and I could just like feel the change in his mental state as he did so,
and his posture, and just the way that he. I mean, that whole scene was brilliant.
Yeah, it's a way of like telling fleshing out the characters without like being over the top and obvious. Meaning like, yes, this is how he's feeling. It's showing him instead.
I liked it.
Yes, it was a good scene.
There's some really questionable production stuff, but that's, being from Cloverworks, that's probably like a guarantee from them.
They're being very ambitious here, which I'm glad that they are, because it's letting them do unusual things.
Right. It's stuff that you'd normally see in live action films. Like this tracking shot they use in this episode, it's pretty normal, but for an anime, that's like, what? That's almost unheard of, because everything usually cuts.
It's like channeling the live action horror tropes, kind of.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I'm glad Cloverworks is doing stuff like this, because it's cool to see it. The only other studio I've seen do anything remotely like this is Land of the Lustrous, and well, Land of the Lustrous is very good, so
yeah.
It's very hard to even get close to what Land of the Lustrous was doing technically, with its production, but I have a lot of negative things to say about Cloverworks, but this is definitely one of their better goings. Even though there's still some flaws with what they were doing here, but it's definitely like, I really enjoy it.
I'm pretty sure it's my favorite anime they've ever done.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Granted, I don't think anything else of theirs has been anything more than okay for me. So
yeah, I didn't like Darling.
Oh yeah, I guess that was part of Darling. So sure.
I didn't like I did like Bunny Girl, but I didn't like what they did in the middle of Bunny Girl. I think middle of it was so just not really good, in my opinion. I know a lot of people will say differently and will get angry at me for hating Bunny Girl, but I did not like the middle of it.
Yeah, unsubscribe to C-Tactics.
Exactly, but resubscribe to C-Tactics. Also.
And then go subscribe to Satsuki because he loves us.
Oh, Satsuki's in the chat. Satsuki's sick, everybody. Send Satsuki a kiss emote. Kiss him.
Okay, we'll do that later. So I think any final thoughts on this episode? I've got pretty much everything I had.
I don't want to go and say right now that this is the best episode, since it's there's a recency bias, I think, and there are I don't know, something just tells me not to say this is the best episode just yet.
I don't think it's quite as good as episode 8, but I think it was also more of like a transition episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this that was very transition-y.
Which it's okay, but it means the episode as a whole didn't stand out as much.
Right. It's hard to complain about this show when every episode has been freaking solid.
Yeah, like, I was not surprised when I liked the first episode because I knew there would be a twist, but what has impressed me is how the quality has kept up pretty much every episode.
Yeah. For the most part, at least. Like I said, I may be, catching some of the stuff Cloverworks is doing, and I'm like, yeah! But that's probably because I don't like Cloverworks, so...
Yeah, it might be you don't like the stylistic choices most of the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, but still, like, the writing, I'd say, is very solid, and the art is interesting most of the time, so...
Yeah. God damn it, why is Isabella healing Satsuki and not me?
Because you have a Norma.
I don't want... He's a goddamn Shota.
Astra can have a Ray then.
Wait, what?
Are you okay with that?
I'd rather have Isabella.
Do you want Crone?
She's kind of cray cray. So
Yeah, Crone would fit you well.
what? No,
You're saying you aren't cray cray?
she would like be psychotic and try to stab me or something, or throw me into the ceiling.
This gives me ideas.
I'd rather have Isabella because I know she's psychotic, but
she actually would care about you in a psychotic way.
In a weird psychotic way, yes. And I'd be like,
I think Crone cares about the kids too, but also in a psychotic way.
yeah, well, Crone would be much more violent, I think. Yes, Sachi's right. Crone would murder me, like straight up. Would be like,
I like it.
Would stab me with that small letter opener. Straight up. And I'll be dead. I'll be bleeding out.
And Cogni says that season 2 of The Promised Neverland is going to be lit. I hope we get a season 2, and I hope we get it starting tomorrow.
I hope we get a season 3 before season 2.
So FLCL?
I guess, yeah. That is weird. That's so weird. That one time I was randomly watching Adult Swim is the one time they aired the new episode of FLCL, and I was watching and I was like, what the hell's going on? This is FLCL, but it's not what I've seen before.
It was FLCL season 3 before any of season 2 came out.
Yeah, it was like April Fool's Day of like 2018.
And it was aired in the English sub, despite them airing everything in English first, normally.
Well, Adult Swim airs a lot of subs, actually. Because right after that went off, they aired that Yuasa film about...
Yes, but that was also April Fool's. They normally don't air subs.
How dare you?
So maybe Adult Swim will air season 3 of Promised Neverland this Day.
Exactly.
That would be amazing, and I hope they do it.
I would love it. It would be the best thing they could ever do.
Or it would be another thing that'd be cool if they did is like air an unaired episode of...
What they could do is they should air the King of Anime podcast.
They should. And you should go subscribe to C Tactics so you'll get to watch the King of Anime podcast live with them tomorrow night at 8 p.m., 6 p.m. Mountain.
6 p.m. Mountain Time. But make sure you're not on now the second highest mountain in the world.
I thought it was now the third.
Third, whatever.
Or maybe it was I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They chopped it down.
Yes. Also, watch Symphogear. Because
freaking Jimi Hendrix song happened in Symphogear. How many times can someone say that?
Yes, by the way, we're definitely covering Symphogear weekly in the summer. I don't know if you've agreed to that, but we're doing it.
Well, I guess I'm doing it.
All right, we're doing it.
They should air the Norman x Emma marriage episode on repeat, says Kagami. When did this happen? I don't remember this happening.
I remember Kagami's also on drugs.
Oh.
Yes, I will watch that if they air that.
Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't air it before they air season 3, episode 1.
No, they'll air it at the same time on both two different channels. They'll air one on the East Coast channel and one on the West Coast, but it'll be the opposite order.
They'll play them both at the same time on a dual screen setup, and both of them will be playing audio at the same time, so you can't even tell what's happening in any of them.
And but one subtitles will be in English, but the other French.
That would be funny. Oh my god.
We have crazy ideas, and I like it. So, thank you everyone for watching, for joining us for a week where we show that we have no idea what a on-topic podcast is.
We're gonna go eat some babies.
Yes, and also check out my top 75 anime of the year video, which went live during this podcast because I'm good at planning.
It did?
Yes.
That sounds like a terrible thing you should have never done.
I didn't know how long this would last, so I figured it'd be the great way to end the episode would be to tell people to go watch that video. Because I watched every anime from last year I was interested in and made a giant top list on it. Because that's what I do.
I would release it tomorrow, but okay.
No, tomorrow's the March Comes In Like a Lion review.
Oh, man.
That I need to go at it.
Wow.
Maybe it will be Sunday.
Beautiful. Oh, Kagumi's dropping some knowledge on us. Says season 3, episode 1 is the Emma X Norman episode. So I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Also, vote Mighty Pie.
Yes, remember, primary elections are coming up soon. Write Mighty Pie in for something. Because every confused election official is a win for memes.
Exactly. Beautiful.
All right, goodbye.
Bye-bye.